Hi, Jana.
Hello, my beautiful friend. How are you?
I'm so good, Jana. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How's your week been? It's been a crazy, crazy few days in Bravo land.
It just always is, right? It really always is. In Dana land, I was in like the home reno inspo sort of mindset this past week. Do you ever notice that when you like click on one thing on Instagram, it sort of becomes your algorithm and that's all you see? Does that ever happen?
Completely.
Okay,
Oh,
so I
constantly.
clicked on like a pink kitchen or a pink living room or something like that. And then it just brought me to like all of these like DIY projects. And I'm like, okay, so now I have to do this. And you guys can't really see it. You can see like a little bit of it if you guys are watching on YouTube, on either of our YouTube channels, on the Bravo Investigator podcast, or on the Pop Therapy podcast YouTube channels. But I've got a little sliver there. And then I put up a bunch of like just random frames that I got from HomeSense. So it was definitely a
Love.
project filled weekend. And I don't know if you're this type of person, but like once I have an idea in my head, I have to execute it and I cannot stop
Yes.
until I've done it. So that was my week. How was
I
your
love
week?
it. You gave me a little sneak peek. I'm so impressed. It
Thank
looks
you. I
completely
made some
professional. I'm
mistakes.
really impressed.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
I love it, but I'm exactly the same way. Like if I suddenly get something in my head, like I have to do it now, like
Right.
yesterday I was trying to do some clearing out and tidying up of the house, which basically is like um a thrift store on steroids at the moment. It is just like we are overflowing with crap and we just need to get rid of stuff. And I started doing that and I discovered an old box of like letters from friends from school during school
Wow.
times and like photos from the 90s. And for any of our listeners who are kind of our vintage, you know what that was like. There were no phones, there was no social media. So it's like printed out photos, stacks and stacks of them, and handwritten letters that my friends and I were writing to each other in class.
That's
And
so
I've
funny.
hoarded them all.
I
So
have like a
it's
box
been,
of photographs as well, like because yeah, we used to have cameras and we'd have photos.
yeah,
I don't have the letters, but I had a boyfriend where he and I would pass letters to each other like daily, to the point where we'd run out of
amazing.
things to say to each other because we were like constantly like writing these letters back and forth, but it was still very
Yes,
romantic
I
in
love
theory.
that. And
But no, it's
it's
so cute
like
to have that keepsake. That's so lovely to find
so
that.
cute. So I was like taking pictures of everything and sending them to my friends. Like, oh my God. What I mean, some of the things that were being said like are just outrageous and cannot even be repeated here, to be honest. But like when you think about kids today versus, what it was like for us growing up, this would be the same as sitting there texting on your phone and being in group chats and
I
everything. We would sit
know.
in class and just go away into another world, like writing a letter, like, oh, my teacher's so boring, blah, blah, blah. What are you doing? Oh my God, this guy's so hard. I've got such a crush on this guy.
I
Oh my God, can you believe she did this
know.
on the weekend? It's like, it's amazing. I love it. So I
It's
spent
so funny.
hours down memory lane yesterday. But I'm also now like absolutely suffering with what I think is a dust mite
Oh
reaction because I'm
no.
like, I think I was just too deep in the cobwebs and I'm reacting. So apologies if anyone's watching, they see me like itching
You
myself. I
look
just feel,
amazing. Don't even worry
thank
about it.
you.
Oh man. Well, we had a great episode
oh,
of Real Housewives of Rhode
oh,
Island yesterday.
that we did.
Yes, we did. It was such a good episode. Um, I always kind of can't keep track of like where we're going type of thing. It's something I do like on reality TV, we have to have a setting. It's either a bar,
Yeah.
a restaurant, a boat, maybe on Rhode Island, something, some sort
Yeah.
of field, right? But I remember saying to
Yeah.
myself when I watched the episode 3 times, what is the setting for each thing that's happening? And I know there was definitely a boat, and I know
Yep.
that there was a polo match. So those were our two main
Yes.
like kind of events that were happening. And it was interesting to hear that
Yes.
polo was sort of like a state sport. It's like sort of really
Mm.
important there. It's fun to learn the culture of this American state. It's really
Yes,
interesting.
absolutely. I would never have known. So, but you're right. We had the boat, and when they said boat, they were going on a boat party. I was assuming it would be like a Luan, we got the yacht kind of moment, but it was literally like an old sailboat from,
Yeah.
100 years ago with big sails, and you're almost like expected to see people dressed up in like olden day costumes.
Right.
I mean, it was great. Something different.
Wait, remind me of which girl, just because we're still getting there. Remind me of which girl was friends with the gays who organized this. Was this Kelsey or Rosie?
Rosie.
Okay,
I
it was
think.
Rosie. Did you notice that Rosie said something about like, I run with a very fabulous circle of gays? Did you hear her say that? I'm like, wow, that's
Yes.
Jill Zarin's partial line. That's interesting.
Yes.
And then I almost heard a pause. I don't know if you did. Again, I watched it 3 times, but I wonder if she started to say it and then realized it was a thing and then kind of wanted to
Yes.
backtrack but couldn't and then continued.
Great pickup. It felt familiar, but I didn't put my finger on it. You nailed it.
I run
Yeah.
with a
I'm not
fabulous.
sure how
Or
I'm
no, wait.
feeling about
Was it Jill
Rosie.
Zarin's or was it Alex McCord?
Yeah, I run with a fabulous group of people or circle of people
or
or
was it
whatever it
Alex
was.
McCord's though? Was it? Now I'm debating.
No, I think it was Jill because Alex was.
We're gonna get corrected on this if we don't look it up.
Okay, we're gonna need to look it up. I'm almost certain that it was Jill Zarin. Now, while you're looking that up, did I ever tell you that I ran into Alex McCord and Simon in the bathrooms at the airport?
Yes. What came of that? Because then she was going to be coming back. This was right before it was announced that she was coming back for road trip is what it's called.
Yeah, the ultimate girls trip.
Right.
So we were messaging a little bit about that, and she was literally getting on the plane heading over there.
Jill Zarin.
It was Jill Zarin?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. You were right. It was you. Yeah, so Alex I ran into at the bathrooms when she and Simon had just gotten off a plane in the States, and then we'd sort of kept in touch. And it reminds me I need to check in with her, but then she was texting me en route to the ultimate girls trip and feeling really excited and a little bit nervous, and that was kind of cool to feel like I was on the inside of that a little bit. What a trip though, like Simon and Alex. Such a
what's the word? Like, what's the word?
Blast from the
past or blast from whatever in time. Whatever the saying is, the thing in time.
Yes, a moment in time. Well, so how are you feeling going back to Rhode Island? How are you feeling about Rosie? Because I'm starting to get a bit of a reaction.
Okay, tell me if your rosacea and your Rosie reaction are the same. Tell me how you're feeling about her first, just so I can get a sense.
Because around the neck.
When I was watching today, I was trying to watch from your lens, and I wasn't sure if that was just because we had one episode where you were sort of questioning whether she was being sort of mischievous or devious or sort of manipulative. And then I tried to watch it through that lens today. But regardless, I want to hear your opinion first, because I want to see what you're saying, and I want to gather something that I may have missed or may not have missed. I'm not great at reading people off the bat.
Well, I'm not sure that's entirely true, but I feel like with her, she gives me a similar feeling that I have when I watch Sheena or when I watch. It's like it feels like everybody else. It's pick me, it's try hard is what we would say in Australia. And it's like everybody else feels like they're very established in Rhode Island. So granted, she's not originally from there, I believe. So she's kind of, newish, whether it's even 5 years, 10 years, but she's not born and bred in Rhode Island like the majority of them are. And it's like I don't know, I feel like she's trying very hard. She's one of those housewives that comes on, and we're getting now shades of it from what Kelsey is starting to put into the narrative about maybe that big house, 5,000 square foot renovation isn't actually true. And maybe she's kind of portraying herself in a light that isn't necessarily authentic.
You know what? I noticed that she did both though, because I really hate when they talk about not just their renovations, but just like how much money they have. It's just it's as
Yeah.
funny as that is the sort of the theme of these shows are supposed to be. It is a turnoff for us, like Jen Aiden and like the
Yes.
16 bathrooms or whatever.
Yes.
But I don't know, just like in this situation, I feel like she was insulting her husband at the same time. She said something about like, you can tell with my husband, he doesn't even work out. So would you say that if you were trying to put on perfection? Oh, I just had a thought on the spot. A thought on the spot. Do people say that? That's actually kind of brilliant.
Yes.
That's okay. I'm just gonna coin that if anybody was gonna take
Trademark
thought on the
that
spot
quick.
from me. Thought on the
Yeah.
spot. Bronwyn and Todd were very much that way. She would portray it as like we have this beautiful, lovely marriage, but then she'd also insult him in front of everybody as a joke. So I don't know, right? Because
Yes.
okay, we aren't seeing
Interesting.
perfection from her because we're not. She's like, look at my I mean, and then I think she also said something, I don't want to use the word derogatory. I guess she also said something mean about him last episode, if I'm not mistaken. I think she said something like, if I wanted
Yes.
to marry up, I wouldn't have married who I married. So she does make those
Yeah.
derogatory statements, but I agree with you in terms of like trying to come up with something to have. And you know what? Let's give, you do you. I want to try to give her the benefit of the doubt. I want to try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt because you know what? You're coming into your first season of a show. You have to find your footing. And I'm sure production tells you to come up with a storyline or what is your storyline? And that must be such like a weird thing to think about in terms
Yeah.
of your life when you've never, especially if you've been on TV before and you've been on TV in a different way. Now you have to frame it in a much different way. There, you could be poised. You can literally memorize what you're going to say when you're on a
Yeah.
newscast. But here, it's your real life. So maybe she's trying to just figure it out.
Yeah, and look, I think there's just something that it just
Irks
rubs me
you.
the wrong way. It's almost like I'm just having some sort of, and I should look inwards here, but I'm having some sort of reaction to her, like she's unlikable a little bit to me. The
Out of all
others,
of them, I'd
it's
say,
not
yeah, she's
even.
the least likable for sure.
Yeah, there's something like the others just seem so authentically themselves,
There's
you
no
know?
there's no relatability. Like with Ashley,
Yeah.
my relatability to her is The Bachelor. Other people's it could be with her as a young mom. Everybody's been cheated on in some respects. So you feel like something for Rula, right? Um, you can feel whatever for Liz, but she just looks so much like Dolores that it just feels nostalgic.
Yeah.
But Rosie, there's nothing to relate. And I feel like there's so many shows where we struggle with that in terms of like cast members, like with Love Island. We never get to like really know who they are. But like with shows like this, we do. And we come to like, who's your favorite housewife, right? But we don't know you. It would be like somebody
Yeah.
saying Rosie is my favorite housewife. It was like when
Yeah.
somebody said, I think it was Rihanna years ago who said Jenna Lyons was her favorite housewife. And it's like, we don't know anything
Yes.
about you, right? So it's sort of similar to
No.
that. But again, it's only been a few episodes, right? So like maybe she does have an interesting personality. I mean, maybe she did end up sleeping with her boss and then she'll have more to say.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, just added to the collection of
Right.
people cheating or being cheated on,
Okay.
you know?
I want to talk about Kelsey because I just don't understand
Okay.
this girl. Like, I also struggle with the relatability and the likability here because first I'm like, okay, this girl's trying to figure it out. She wants to like be on her own, but then as we go the episodes through, we're like, no, she has another boyfriend. So first you're just trying to deal with the fact that your boyfriend has a girlfriend and you kind of feel bad for this girl, but then you're like, okay, well, she's doing the same thing, so I can't really feel bad. But now she's saying that the only reason that she won't like be with the other boyfriend is because he can't support the lifestyle where she wouldn't have to work at all. And this is just, again, I know they're supposed to be like so upper class that we couldn't relate, but there's got to be just like something there where I'm just like, come on. He's apparently well off enough. It's just not enough for her not to work. And I just, I just don't know what to do with her. Like, are we supposed to pretend this is normal? Like, even when Ashley's over and she's doing Ashley's hair, like, is Ashley supposed to pretend this is like a normal thing when she's like, so my boyfriend, this and that, and it's like, and then my other boyfriend, like, are we just supposed to pretend this is what's happening now? I don't know.
Well, I guess there are, devil's advocate here. There are all kinds of relationships that people have.
Sure.
People But I think it's the transparency that's missing, which is making it hard to figure out. It feels, even though she's being open in terms of bringing the other boyfriend out and about,
Yeah, isn't
I
that
think she
wild that
just
she
needs to
has one on
really,
camera and one not on camera?
yes, absolutely. But I feel like she needs to kind of spell it out a little bit more for us, just to really get us comfortable with what's going on. Because on the one hand, all her scenes are filmed in her mega, mega mansion, and we see that her life is funded fully by this part-time, extremely wealthy boyfriend. And that he doesn't want kids, and he's not going to give her kind of the future that she's hoping to have. And then she's bringing this younger kind of like, muscle man out everywhere. And so just reading between the lines, it's like, okay, you've got lifestyle and money and security-ish from the older guy, and this is just the guy you have sex with, basically, right? And the guy you can bring to events and to have someone around. It feels like, if she could just sort of spell it out a little bit more clearly in terms of like, you know what, like I actually am trying to step out whether I can have a future with, I don't know, I don't even know the name of the other boyfriend, the public boyfriend.
Billy?
Is it Michael? Billy? Oh, it is Billy.
William?
It's another Bill.
Right.
Bill,
Yeah.
and then there's Billy.
Right.
That's right. You're right. But like it sort of makes him look like a bit of an idiot as well. Like we're not seeing anything of him to get a sense of his personality or his life or anything. He's just kind of like the fool that gets dragged out because the real boyfriend's not there.
Right.
So it's hard to connect with her story and to understand fully what's going on in her life. However, she also strikes me as someone who keeps a lot of secrets and does things a little bit on the sly. So, maybe because she's had to. She's been living in this kind of secret sugar baby life.
Like maybe she felt like, look, I'm going to be so honest with this thing that people will be distracted by it. And I have all of these other secrets that I can just kind of have on the DL. Because even the second boyfriend wasn't something we knew about right away. I think she's going to keep dropping these little nuggets. But yeah, it's just... it feels a little like I can't really feel bad for you in your situation type of thing. But I'm starting to relate. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, you know what it just suddenly reminded me of?
What?
It's a little bit 90 Day Fiancé. You know how we'll like meet the people and then they like drop a secret and then there's like, I've got to talk to him about this big thing that I've been keeping from him. It's a little bit like that. We're kind of getting breadcrumbed with Kelsey the way that we do in 90 Day Fiancé.
That is so funny because when I was recapping 90 Day, I said like, is this like a requirement when you audition for the show that you have to be somebody who's in this long distance relationship but also has a secret for at least 5+ years that you haven't told them? No, because it's become ridiculous. I'm like, how does everybody just like have this secret? It's wild.
Exactly. I know.
I don't know. I am starting to relate to Joe Ellen though, like in this weird way. Like because first I was just like, okay, like girl, like let it go when it comes to Rula, because I kind of felt like it's getting weird. Like first you just, you're the one that told her this information. She got obviously very upset with you about that, about her husband cheating. Then it seems that she has decided to forgive her husband and doesn't believe that it is ongoing, which is now like a word associated with Rhode Island. But I was just really surprised that Joe Ellen, just kind of kept pushing at it. It was like, I have information, I have receipts, I have all of this stuff. Because you would think she wouldn't want to get so involved in someone else's marriage, especially with the way that Rula reacted before. But then when she said something about like needing to be right, God damn it, I relate. Like it is my worst trait about myself, but I have to be right to the point where, I am going to start giving you receipts and all of this stuff because how dare you call me a liar?
Yes.
Oh, that's so Kristen Doty of me. It's like no one's calling you a liar, Kristen.
Yes, but I completely relate to that too, and when you have that in you, it's really hard to let go of. But I know it's a bit controversial because she is kind of painted as the villain of the series, but I'm actually loving Jo Ellen. Like really, I feel like
is she painted as the
bringing.
villain?
Yeah, she's meant to be like the bad girl.
Okay,
You
I
know,
haven't
the
been
one
reading
who's
any
like
of the news,
mean.
and I know you keep sending it to me, and I
Well,
haven't read any of the news about Rhode Island
but
whatsoever. I've
even
been really
her,
sticking to the show and the after
yeah.
show.
Okay, so even her
But tell me.
tagline is like, you know, I'm the mean girl, but I mean what I say, or something like that.
Was it? There was
Um,
one though that was really good that I liked. I kind of wanted to remember it. Rule is stupid. It's just like I'm a loyal wife, and it's like we
oh, it's
know.
like that's embarrassing.
But somebody had a really
Yes.
good one. I forget what it was. I'll try to remember for next time.
Yeah, Rosie's is a bit lame. It's about like, I used to read the news, now I'm the headline or something. Like, no, honey, you're not. You're a B player in this cast.
I can't remember which one you are. I do get her confused with Kelsey because they're both like young and brunette. And I would probably have gotten her confused with Ashley if I just didn't already know Ashley
Yeah.
outside of her. But yeah, it's sort of interesting to watch her influencer life, even though we do watch things like that on like Love Island. Not really, because we're not watching them do their day-to-day life, but it's interesting to watch like an adult influencer kind of. It reminds me of like
Yeah.
Juliet from Real Housewives of London. Do you hate her or
Yes.
love her? I forget.
I swing between a little bit, you
Okay.
know. I don't hate her. I think she was really quite
There was
good and
someone I
hard
recorded
done
with who
by last
hated
season.
her. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't hate her. I don't hate her. I feel like was it Amanda and Juliet that were
Yes.
really going at it
Yes.
last season? Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
wild.
No, I think I was team Juliet in all of that. But yes. So, segue, but like I find like Kelsey's interesting. I think, as you said, Ashley, I think it also feels a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? It's like it feels genuine, you know, that like we're seeing kind of her life. I'd like to see a little bit more of her life with Jared. I know that he's like at the cafe all the
Yeah.
time, but like,
No, I'd love to see them on a date. Oh my God, I just had a flash of
yeah.
them on a date, and now I remember a paparazzi picture. Okay, so we're definitely getting one
Oh,
because I have a
okay.
paparazzi picture in my mind. But yeah, I think
Okay.
that would be really interesting because they do have sort of tumultuous stuff going on in their marriage where he's not that he's at Audrey's all the time, which is his coffee shop, but
Yeah.
that whether he's there or not, his mind is always there. So that's obviously something that's going on in
Yes.
their marriage. But she almost might be even too pure for this. Like, even when was it on the boat? I forget who was fighting. Oh, that's right. So it was
Yeah.
Kelsey and Rosie who were fighting because this was very housewives. So when Kelsey was upset that she did Rosie's hair and then Rosie didn't post about it on Instagram or anywhere, and Rosie's like, it's not my job to like take a picture of the back of my head. And she's like, I'm not asking you to do that, but it's just like a courtesy if you are like an influencer. I mean, can you imagine these conversations
Yeah.
when you're talking about that box that you found of photos, right? This conversation
Totally.
would not exist.
Totally.
So,
Exactly.
but anyway,
Yes.
so
This
can
is
you
like
post this on my Instagram and no, like I didn't deem it worthy or whatever.
Yeah.
You have Ashley, I don't know if you heard her in the background being like, okay, how can we
Yeah.
resolve this? Maybe like retroactively. Let's see how
Yes.
we. And it's
Yes.
just like, you're so cute.
Yes. I know. She's like just wants to make it better, you know? And I think, you know, she plays a good role here because she is the kind of deer in the headlights and the, oh no, oh, I didn't mean to say
Which
that.
is
Oh no, I
so
don't,
funny.
or like, what is going on? You know? And the other girls are so hardcore. Like, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but when Liz was at the Polo, when they were confronting Ruler and her husband about the ongoing, the way that Liz walked in there, and we'll unpack that scene a little bit more, but I just want to use this as a comparison for Kelsey because the way Liz walks in, like, what are you doing, Brian? What are you doing? Own up to this. Talk about it. You know, she's like not even a little bit nervous about, like, she just rolled up her sleeves and what, you know, whereas Kelsey is so, I mean, sorry, Ashley is so like, oh my God, like she would just be like, oh my God, don't say that. Oh, no, let's
Well,
not
I
have that
mean,
conversation. Like, what?
even that situation is so tentative because it's like, I mean, I don't even know if it's like a sexist conversation, but it's like, I wouldn't approach a man like that. Like, that would be way too scary to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I just like I to come at I just don't know what he would do to me. Like, I would just never approach a man like that. And I mean it more in the way that if like I would be afraid to. Like, I would never. I just don't know what would
Yeah.
happen.
Okay, so one of the rumors on Reddit, and all of this is a big fat allegedly, and these are just people talking online, but there's chatter amongst the Rhode Island natives who are
Who
also
all know each other
talking
and
on
all have brown
Reddit.
hair. Yeah.
Yeah, that allegedly Liz's husband is connected to, let's just say, an underground organization, and that Dino is like allegedly a heavy. And so when he would be going away for these fishing trips and doing all these other things, it's like not a weird thing to say to your kind of henchman, look after my wife. And he's actually there in a protective sort of way because potentially he's involved in things that may require people to be around, if you're catching my drift.
Well, Jana, that makes complete sense, and that resolves
Doesn't
that.
it?
Okay.
Doesn't?
Yeah.
And also, it explains why she is so strong and not afraid of what a man's going to say, because you don't touch Liz, you know?
And I don't think anyone
And if
would.
she, no, I mean, I think she's pretty strong on her own, but maybe she's
Or someone's
able
husband
to be,
too. Like, I mean, I even remember like
yeah,
there was an episode of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I think it was in the first season where Dakota wanted to get together with Michaela. And she's like, I don't want to be alone with you. Like somebody else
yeah,
is. You know what I mean? Like, that's just such a
yeah,
weird.
yeah. But I think so. So speaking about that whole Joellen, Rula, Brian, everybody conversation about the ongoing rumors
Yeah.
of Brian. I mean, when Joellen stepped out the timeline of that day, it really made a lot of sense. It looks certainly as if something strange is going on.
Right.
To come back without your ring on is very, very strange. You talked about putting gel in his child's hair, but at what point between leaving the event at 1:00 and going to see your sick mother and coming straight back, are you gelling your child's hair in the car?
No, I seriously, to the point where I feel like this is a joke. Like, this is obviously an ongoing. Like, I wasn't sure if she was coming on the show as like, okay, my husband had this one cheating scandal and we're coming on, we're admitting to it and we're moving on. Is this a joke? Like, he's literally leaving
Yeah.
events about his sick mom and going to, and this woman is constantly posting on Instagram, here I am with him, and Rula's thinking
Yes.
that it's AI apps. Is
Oh
she
my God,
okay? Like, what's
honestly.
happening here? Like,
I
Rula,
know.
that and then for her to then say to Joel and give me proof, Rula, that is proof. If
Yeah.
you're saying that what would typically be proof is AI, well then I can't help you here. And it either feels like we're acting, or because like why would I was gonna say, why would anyone be so stupid to do this so like publicly? But
Yeah.
then you do have Joe Ellen saying at the end, and I'm curious your thoughts, where she says, like, I want him, or he wants her to break up with him. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I
You
thought
do?
that was the
Because he's basically
word, the
doing it out in the
sentence
open.
that that like tied it all together for me, because I was sitting there racking my brain like, what is the psychology behind going on an international show as big as The Housewives with an ongoing relationship with a mistress that has already come out in your small town and in your circles, and you've already had to deal with the fallout of, and you are continuing to be deceitful with. Why on earth would you be that naive to put yourself in that position? There has to be a motive. Like, what are you hoping to gain? And is it simply because Ruler is a really strong woman and he doesn't have the balls to sit down and have a hard conversation with her? Maybe it is financial. maybe there's a prenup and there's a clause about cheating, and there could be anything, or they could have businesses tied up together that would become so complicated to actually separate. I mean, he's an idiot. That's his own fault and problem anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find it fascinating that people put themselves in this position when the internet can make so much of it so quickly. So yeah, I just think Joellen nailed it there. That has to be it. That he's hoping she will get enough support and backlash, and everybody's going to be on it, and she's going to leave, because even the way that he said, and sorry, I'm going on a rant now, but the way that he even said at the Polo, like, well, if I haven't left already, like, obviously I'm not going to leave. He said that without conviction at all. It was so weak. It was just like, well, if I haven't left already, like, I'm obviously not leaving. And his face is racked with guilt and
like
deception.
He comes off as a guy who would be loud, or would, because he gets kind of like big and red, right? But like, and then he's so meek in these conversations. Like, he had that other one with Joellen where like he didn't stand up for Rula, and the same here, right? So maybe that's why these women have no issue just approaching him and being like, hey, get your shit together.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
I still, though, like, in my 20s, I would have gotten really involved in my friend's relationship, but in my 40s, 50s, I wouldn't, right? Like, not to that level. I will be the one to tell you. But that's the interesting thing, and that's what Liz said throughout the episode. She's like, Rula says she wants to know, but she doesn't want to know, and she's going to pretend that it's make-believe and, like, imaginary, clouds in the sky and AI and all these things. So, like, what's the point? It's like, but you need more proof.
Yeah, I mean, Joellen said, I looked at her phone and I scrolled through the messages. Like, and then she's saying, well, how do you know that's his number? That's a fair point. You don't know. Could this woman be, let's just go there. Like, could she be a single white female? Could she be like a
But that's not what we're hearing. We
No,
heard
it's
that
not.
they had a phone conversation recently. And that, like, we've never heard him once say she's crazy and she's lying. Have we?
No. Well, he apparently has sued her recently for breach of an NDA because she was.
Well, yeah, she's breaching her
posting.
NDA. I'm sure he sleeps with lots of women who have to sign NDAs, and now she's yapping about it, right? So.
Yes. But also, there was a scene that I'm not even aware I'm not sure if he was aware it was being filmed, but he was talking to the guys saying, oh, well, that other person's like texting me. So and he's like on his phone replying to her. Then when the women confront him, he says, oh, she rang me like recently. But he doesn't say, yes, look, she reaches out all the time. Why wouldn't you block this person if you were so adamant that that it was over and you were.
Are you watching 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days?
No, I'm not.
This is Rick and Trisha right now. Well, we're into the reunion, but like literally same thing where like he's cheating on her and she's still like kind of willing to be with him. He's come to Madagascar to be with her, but he's still cheating on her with someone from like Colombia or something like that.
Oh my
And then the Colombian woman is texting him and she's like, and he's like, what do you want me to do? And she's like, block her. And he's like, I can't.
Yeah, well, doesn't that say it all?
If you can't, then it says it all.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this just feels like a joke at this point. Either you're doing it on purpose to get rid of your wife, or, I don't know, some sort of accent, or you're actors.
Well, I don't think either of them are good enough actors for this to be an act. He's certainly not. He was on Watch. They were both on Watch What Happens Live.
I didn't see it. Tell me.
So the dynamic, I just saw some clips. The dynamic is really like she is the strong, I'm going to tell you what to say. I'm going to tell you what to do. We're not going to behave like this. We are together through thick and thin. And he just sits there like, we're together through thick and thin,
Wow.
and he's like, almost like you could just imagine him with his face dripping, like blotting at it with a handkerchief, like he's that uncomfortable in his seat. So he tried to do the same thing and answer some questions like, no, it's not ongoing, and I've chosen my family. But it is just so, I mean,
It's an
the
awkward
fact
thing
that
to
he sat
talk about
there,
on live TV, and like,
oh,
God bless Andy for
so
the job that
awkward.
he does doing that, right? And how much are you going to
It's
press a
so
person,
awkward.
right? Like,
Yeah. But also, like, why put yourself? It comes back to, like, what is the motive here for them other than damage control from Ruler's perspective, that she's trying to gain some control back over the narrative and put out there that we are this and we are that, and none of that's happening, without maybe realizing that the internet is just way bigger than any front they could put on, and the world is going to talk.
right.
And unfortunately, he's not that good an actor, and he's not good at, there are some people who are deceitful and we've watched them for years and they present, strong, and they've got an argument and they can convince us about things and we maybe question it. Like even Joe Giudice, like we knew what was going on. We heard a phone call, all kinds of things, but he would still, beat up anyone who said otherwise, and we just kind of had to go with it.
I miss those early days.
I feel like this is shaping up to be even better than
No, it is. It's
those
almost like a
early Jersey
smarter
seasons.
version.
Oh, so much better.
And we
Yeah.
had a little Dolo sighting.
Yes, we did. And she said the last time she was on a boat like that was when she was dating Frank Catania. Yeah.
Wasn't boat like when he wanted to do his housewives tagline, he wanted it to be like, all I'm into is boats and hoes or something like that. So
Really?
definitely boats were part of his thing. So
Oh
Rhode
my God,
Island
hilarious.
and Frank Catania make a lot of sense.
Totally. So we saw some other scenes that were just kind of filler scenes. Like there was a little pool gathering at Alicia's house. And did you sense in your 3 times of watching that she was kind of sweating the Liz relationship? Like my feeling is she is a little bit frightened of getting on the wrong side of Liz, and she wants Liz to just see that she's just a loyal friend who's always defending her.
Yes.
Because the way that she did speak about Liz is different to the way that she's retelling it. And she was sweating.
I didn't notice it as much in this episode, but I feel like, yes, that's definitely what's going on with her. I'm still just trying to figure out like her tells, I guess, right? Like when somebody's like, no, I wasn't doing that. I don't know your baseline is what you would say,
Yes.
in our
Yeah.
fields, right? So like you kind of want to know how you would normally speak about someone. And so I'm just not quite sure because she doesn't give up, she's different where she doesn't give off an air of fear where like, do you remember like Erica Jane, like yelling at Teddy Mellencamp and being like, don't ever do that
Yes.
again, ever, ever. And you see
Yes.
like Teddy cowering. But instead, yeah, we don't have that here. Instead, we get a much different response. We get like, so so I'm just not really sure who she is yet. We get that really, really crazy angry response towards Rosie, and it was very like out of pocket and out of just completely nowhere. So because of that, it's just not obvious how her emotions always go, right? Now we know that's sort of maybe her fear response, but that's not necessarily what we were getting this time around. So I'm still just trying to read her a bit. And I'm just really sad for her in terms of her husband, and I can't let it go. I can't let go of the fact that he won't put her in the prenup for like the fact that they've been engaged for this many years just because he won't like include her in his life. It just makes me sad.
Yeah, it's very strange. I have to remind myself how long they've been together. It's like 11 plus years. And, when I look at them together, he seems like a doting husband. Like she's got her girlfriends coming over. He's blowing up the things. He's getting the drinks. He's helping to
I
organize and then
can't see
staying out
past
of the
it.
way.
I can't see past
But
it.
yet,
I'm so
like to
upset
me,
about
I
it.
can't reconcile.
Yeah.
Like, how is this the same person that sounds like they're so strong in terms of what they will and won't do? I mean,
Yeah.
it's weird. Unless, like, is he holding it over her because he wants to get married and she's reluctant to get married? I mean, they need to go to therapy and just iron this out a little bit.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. So are we missing any other people from the cast? I feel like the main events this episode were the polo and the boat. And the polo was all about the cheating and the boat was all about Instagram.
Well, we had the symbolic releasing of Jerry's boat, the Gypsy, which
Oh,
was,
that's
you
right.
know, the boat that caused a lot of tension in their relationship because it's the symbol of him going off on these fishing trips. And it's so interesting how how the trajectory of their relationship went on, where they've explained a couple times now where they were together all the time for 14 years and then he took off all the time for years,
Yeah.
right? So it was just so weird for her and such like a transition. And that's when Dino came into the picture. It sort of even reminds me of like a little bit West and Kyle and Amanda, if you think about it, because it's like, I can't get over the fact that Kyle said to West, you know, she's been spending more time with you than me in the past 6 months. But then in the first episode of the season, he said, I've only been home for 1.5 weekends in the past 6 months, right? So if you're not around
Yes.
and then your wife, but at the same time, it seems like they had some sort of arrangement, right? And I just love the way she talks.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just so curious about them, but I also love them together. They seem like really strong and real. And so, like you said, right? Devil's advocate,
Yeah.
everyone has different relationships, but I want to know a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting to see her get so emotional about it in that moment and talk about how hard that was because
He was gone 3 weeks out of 4 of a month.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I mean, what else was he doing
Well-
out on the open water?
Well,
Go back to Reddit, everyone.
no Reddit. No Reddit. Reddit scares me.
It's a scary place. Oh my God, it is a scary, scary place. And it's the kind of place that works kind of like, it feels like the algorithm as well. It's like once you look at one thing, it's like all you get.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. But, you know, I think we're going to see a lot more. I mean, I feel like she's already bringing so much to the table, Liz, and I can't wait to learn more about her. And, you know, I feel like, again, I think we said this last week, I think the main players at the moment turning out to be, you know, Joellen, the
Liz.
names take a minute, Liz, Rula.
Yeah. I mean, her relationship
she's-
is the main storyline.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of involved.
Yeah.
Oh, and the fact that, I want to mention that. Like, the fact that she's letting Joellen get involved like that, like, she is pushing back in the sense of, like, I think it's AI, but, like, you would think that she would get a lot more defensive, especially when Joellen is, like, getting in her husband's face physically. Again, maybe I just don't know Rula's baseline. Maybe she is just more soft and more, like, I'm trying to, what's the word of, like, the opposite of, like, aggressive, but, like, yeah, what's the opposite of aggressive?
Passive.
Passive, thank you. So yeah, just much more passive in her communications, but it just seems like there's a line that a friend can take, and I do believe that Joellen has crossed that line. And I'm surprised that Rule is just like, okay, you want me to come talk to you over here more about it after you just like yelled at my husband? Sure, I'll come over here. Right? It's just odd to me. I'm just surprised Rula hasn't punched her in the face yet. Not that she isn't correct.
Yeah.
This man is cheating. I'm just surprised that Rula is just really taking it all in a very like Bambi-eyed bitch kind of way.
Yeah. And then it's like we're sort of seeing like two sides of her at any given time. So for example, you know, Joellen approaches them, says, I want to talk. Brian says, no, I'm not doing this on camera. And Rula's like, okay, we're not doing it. And then next scene, she's walking willingly away with Joellen to have the conversation. So I don't know if that was pieced together out of sync, but that seemed to be it seemed to sort of go like if your husband who you're madly defending, like, can you ever imagine Teresa, with all the accusations about Joe and then, Louis being confronted on camera and the husband at the time saying, I'm not doing this on camera. She might scream and throw something, but she's leaving with her husband. She's not giving anyone another opportunity to talk about this on camera.
Or you do and you take that person's side. You can't be both. You can't be friends with if you believe your husband, then you're not friends with Joe Ellen. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you've been dating someone and your friend's like, I think he's cheating on you. And then you decide to stay with the person. I'm like creating an entire scenario. And you're no longer friends with that person. That's sort of how it works, right?
Yes.
Just like, oh, hey, Joe Ellen, how was your Tuesday? Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah. And entertaining her. And it feels like Joe Ellen is really coming, like she's really reestablishing her position here. It started off like furious with them and wanting to kind of like give it to them. And now she's kind of playing girl's girl. Like, I love you, ruler. You just need to know this. I just want to, So it's like, I can't quite tell if she's doing this because she's wants to be mean and be right, or because she actually cares about ruler in any way.
I don't remember how close they said they were before. I know that Joe Ellen was the one that told Rula, but again, now we found out the relationship that oh yeah, let's mention that. So the relationship, the reason I guess that Joe Ellen has all this information about the mistress is because it was someone, it's another mom of the school that her kids went to. So I guess they have each other's numbers through that way. So this woman is constantly screenshotting and sending these to Joe Ellen and being like, look, I want to be with him. We want to be together. She specifically mentioned that like they want to be together. So it's not out of nowhere for nothing. So I mean, that's a first. I mean, that is a very 2026 excuse for a woman's excuse for her man's cheating. AI.
Yes.
It's a very new age excuse.
I mean,
for cheating.
Seriously.
Sure.
But then there was another part that Joe Ellen said where when she was talking to Ruler and she said, my friend is friends with this girl. So it could even be that they know each other through the daycare or whatever it was, but actually her friend is the one who's, messaging with her and sharing, and maybe they're on the bus and Joanne was like, oh, Brian and Rula just left, and she goes, well, that's interesting because my friend just told me Brian's trying to come over and see her now, so there seems to be there's some sort of conduit for the information. But
I think that Joe Ellen should lean into the sister-husband storyline and lean out of Rula's relationship storyline, because it's at this point, okay, like at this point, you've done a little much, but like it's enough. I just feel like it would be inappropriate for you to do anymore. At some point, you have to let this woman decide whether she's going to be in her marriage anymore or not. It's not just a relationship, it's a marriage. And, you need to come up with something for yourself. But yeah, people are really interested in your sister. So
absolutely.
Let's talk more about that.
And I've seen her sister in the comments saying like, oh my God, that's my sister. I love her. I would never. But like,
Girl.
really? Because the behavior is not normal.
I'm so excited to see where that goes.
Oh my God, me too. But also like, I just can't imagine. And I guess, you and I think, have a very different feeling on maybe what women's roles are. I mean, we are not traditional women in the old way of thinking by any means, and they seem to be. So like, it's kind of like you're the wife and the, so it like the home duties are taken on by the woman and that sort of thing. And so to have your sister come over to take care of the washing and like, I just find that
perfect sense. That's what she was bred for. No, just kidding.
Yeah. But we talked about this last week. Like there are no circumstances. I'm not even going over and doing my brother's laundry. Why am I going and doing my brother-in-law's?
No, absolutely not. But you know what? It's like, You know how people talk about maybe not necessarily with like an in-law, but you definitely have it with like a friend. Like if you were to meet my boyfriend, if I were to ever have one, which I wouldn't, but if I were to have one, you would automatically, I would assume, or I would automatically see them in a non-sexual way. I just met your husband, for example. Okay. I just met
Yeah.
your husband,
Yeah.
like I don't look at him in as a man in that way because that's your husband. So he's
Yeah.
automatically like an off the table
Yes.
non-sexual human being. He's just an orb, you know?
Yes. Yes. I feel the
Tell him
same
he's my
way.
favorite orb.
Absolutely. But it's so true, right? You would never
But it does
see
happen,
your
right? So
friends.
when you try to make that argument,
It
then you
does.
have like a Weston
True.
Amanda situation. Sorry to constantly bring it back to Summer House,
Yes.
but it's like you should be looking. That's your friend's man at some point. He was at some point, so you should never look at him in a sexual way because that's your friend's man. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or he
Yes.
suddenly
And that's
in
right.
your mind should become like non-sexual.
Yeah, but maybe there's something in this Rhode Island culture. It sounds like, as again, as we touched on last week,
Yes,
everybody's been cheated on or has cheated,
but is
you
related in
know,
some way as well. The
and
cheating's
they're
related.
all connected. Yes. So, like even like the scene with Alicia last week and her aunties and her mother, and they're all talking about this one wandered and this one, never,
Wanted,
never
wanted,
he wandered.
wanted.
And then that one like was never at home, and you're always looking over your shoulder. And is this just the plight of women in Rhode Island? Like you either cheat or be cheated on?
Yeah, I guess
Weird.
so. I mean, we're gonna learn more hopefully, but yeah, we're not seeing. I mean, Joellen's marriage seems pretty healthy right now, so let's.
Yeah.
Well, then again, I was just leaning into a storyline that would sort of set
Yeah.
that to fire. But Ashley and Jared, I mean, they have their struggles, but everybody does, and they're
Hmm.
they're a beautiful little Disney-looking couple. So there's that. We have some
Yeah, they
hope.
sure are.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I like Jerry and Liz.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I want to get really deep into all of these relationships, but also like Rosie and her boyfriend, husband. I just also don't feel like, as much as she's playing for airtime a little bit, I still don't feel like I know anything really about her or her husband or their life. Like, why has she got the big lights and the setup? What is she filming at home? Is it that her own little YouTube show? Is that what it
I
was?
had
Or
to think to myself as well. I'm like, oh, what is she doing for herself now? I mean, we did get that one
yeah,
dinner scene with her and her husband earlier on where they're talking about whether they were going to have kids or not. But no, I agree. I feel like
true.
we don't really know them as a couple. And
Mm,
yeah, even separately. Again, maybe she's just trying to find her footing. Let's give it to her. Let's give her
yeah.
one more episode, Jana.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I am open and I can flip flop like the best of the Alicias in the world.
We're
So
the
if
best Sheena
someone
in the
like,
world.
well, no, please don't put me in the same sentence. Ah, she
Sorry.
still just does things to me in a
Sorry.
negative way. Um, but yeah, I feel like all of these women have so much potential. I love this cast. I love this show. I cannot get enough. And I just want to see more and more and more.
Well, we're going to see more and more and more next week when we recap next week's episode. So I will
Can't
see you
wait.
then. I'm so glad you're here. And follow me, everyone, on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at The Bravo Investigator. Subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch episodes like this one. And also join my Facebook page. That's a fun one over there. That's growing. Yeah. What about you?
Amazing.
What do you got going
Well,
on?
you can find me, just to make things complicated, it's the Pop Therapy Podcast on YouTube, but you can find me at my name on Instagram. That's jana.firestone, Jana. And you can also find me on TikTok, Jana Firestone, although it's not my forte, TikTok, unfortunately.
Me neither.
Instagram's where it's really at. Find me on Instagram. You can hit me up on the website, janafirestone.com. But come and get in the comments. We want to talk all things Rhode Island with you. Don't hesitate to share your thoughts. Completely fine if they're the opposite of ours. We love to have conversations with all of you guys. So thanks for listening, and we can't wait to talk more.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.